Using map data to set goals and engage students is extremely important when driving instruction in the classroom. So there are many different assessments that are out there to use to see where students are, so we can assist on where students are going. Or one of the main assessments that is used in um, my district and several districts across the United States is the NWA MAP assessment. The NWA MAP assessment varies by subject and test, and it has about 52 questions. It's not timed, and the students will not have the same questions as other students in the class. Now, questions that are answered correct, the next question will be a little harder, and questions that are not answered correct, the question will be a little easier. So the MAP score is not determined by the number of questions that's correct, but it's based on the level of difficulties of the questions answered by the students. So once the assessment is done, what they call a RIT score is developed. And this RIT score uses individual items difficulty values to estimate the achievement level of students. It reflects the instructional level that the student is currently performing on, and it measures how tall the student is on a curriculum scale. So the scores from any test is just an estimate of the performance, but the RIT band scores from the MAP test gives you a general idea of where the students are academically. So what does the RIT scores look like? So before we have two different charts. We have a chart for math, we have a chart for reading. There's also a RIT band chart for science. Normally you can see that a student that on the 7th grade level that scored a 222 in the beginning of the school year is on grade level, or was seen to be on grade level, versus if that a student in that same class scored a 211. Based off of the chart, you can see that student is at a 5th grade level and maybe 1 or 2 grade levels behind. So this RIT score status norm chart gives you an idea of whether the students are on grade level, behind grade level, how far they are behind grade level, or if they are above grade level. So there are several reports that a teacher can look at to get an idea of where students are academically. The three reports that we're going to look at is a class breakdown report, a class report, and a student profile report. We log on to the NWA website, you log in your user's name, and then you log in, and it will get you access to these reports. The first report the first report that we're going to look at is the class breakdown report. Once we are logged into the NWA website, on the left hand side in the blue box you will see where it says map growth reports. You're going to click there to access the reports. Once you click there to access the reports, there is a drop down of several different reports that you're going to choose from. The first report that we're going to look at is the grade breakdown report. There's several different ways that you can look at this report. You can look at this report by the RIT band score that we talked about on the previous screen. You can look at this chart by the proficiency level, where they normally notate it as high, medium, or low, or based off of the goal. Once in the class breakdown reports, you want to select the term that the assessment was administered. You want to select the school in which the assessment was given, your name as the instructor, the class in which you are collecting the data for, or pulling a report for, and you want to select one of the three options by RIT band, by goal, or proficiency level. Two options: you can either create a PDF file report or you can review the report online. Based off of the RIT band chart, the class breakdown report is broken down in two sections and broken down into strands depending on which subject that you're looking at. Each one of the performance level goals are aligned to the RIT band scores on the RIT band chart. Students that are performing on grade level are in column 3. Any student that's below column 3 will be performing below grade level or progressing toward grade level, and all students that are above column 3 are performing above grade level. So again, these performance level groups are 1 through 5 from the class breakdown report can be broken down even more, as far as seeing that kids that are in group 1 are at-risk students, group 2 are below grade level, 3 are at grade level, 4 are above grade level, and 5, students in group 5 are gifted and talented. So before grouping on your report, you probably want to draw a line dividing each one of those sections, so you can have a record of which students are going to fall in which performance level group. Okay. With the different performance level groups, you may have students that may be in group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all different groups inside one classroom. So to accommodate those different groups in one class, you could do grouping for differentiated instruction. You could do a 10-minute activity that focuses on what each group may need. You can pull small groups, and you can change the groups around as needed. The second report we're going to talk about is the student profile. The student profile gives you an idea of where the proficiency level of the student, what areas of focus the student need to work on, what instructional score, RIT score a student has for each strand, and suggest the areas that the students can be working on. Again, this report also could be accessed the same way if you access the class report. Go to the map growth report on the left hand side of the NWA screen. This time from the drop down of the list reports to access, you're going to click on student access student profile. Once in the student profile report, you want to identify the term in which the assessment was administered, the school in which the assessment was administered, the instructor, the class, and select the student. Pretty much the same steps that was taken when going through the class breakdown report. The only difference is identifying the individual student. Again, the student profile report gets the student overall score on the test for the given subject. You can also see other subjects for all subjects: math, reading, language usage, and science. It shows the instructional area score for each strand for that particular subject. It shows whether the student is on proficiency track for college, identify learning statements to help guide instruction, and areas of strength that the student may have. The last report that we're going to look at is the class report. Again, the class report can be accessed the same way that we access the class breakdown report, the same way we access the student profile report, by going to the NWA website, clicking on map growth reports on the left hand side in the blue shaded box, and identifying class report on the list of reports that are there. This class breakdown report will give you an idea on how to use standard deviation to teach and set up lesson plans for your students. Okay, accessing these three reports pretty much mirror each other, pretty much the same. You're going to click on the term. You're going to identify the school. You're going to select the test, RIT, the student detail, goal performance, or goal description. So you're going to select whether you're going to do written, whether you're going to do goal, or whether you're going to do performance. And you either can A, create a PDF file, or B, opt to have the document presented online. Okay, so this report is a good indicator for where the middle of the class is achieving. So if you have a 3-point difference, indicates an area of strength or an area that needs emphasis. So we can see here that um, in all three of these reports, it shows considerable ways for you to differentiate. It shows small and variety of academic abilities for all students, and it gives you a little light on how you can prepare to teach whole group instruction more appropriately.